What's up, Lash fam? Welcome back, you guys, to episode 4 of Truly Me. I hope you guys are enjoying the content so far. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and join the Lash family. We are uploading content Monday and Thursdays for the podcast. We also will be uploading some other YouTube videos on here as well. So make sure you guys have our post notifications turned on so you're aware when we do upload something new. Also, we are going to be having the podcast available to listen to on iTunes very, very shortly. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, where we kind of update you guys on what's going on with LBK and the YouTube channel and things like that. Today, we are going to be talking about retention. Now, retention is something that as lash artists, we try to get down to a T. The better retention we have, obviously, it's better for us, better for our clients, better all around. So what are some things that can cause retention problems? How do we decide if retention falls on us or falls on our clientele? And what are some tips and tricks to help retention in the long run? I get a lot of questions about if retention can be one specific thing or not. Retention falls under so many different categories, and it's basically like you have to do a process of elimination to really figure out what exactly is causing this retention. The number one thing, obviously, we like to blame our clients, right? We like to be like, oh, it's not our fault. Our clients did this. Our clients did that. We got to look at what we're doing as lash artists. Number one, obviously, you guys need to be aware of what your humidity in your room is, and also what your humidity, if you lash at a salon, wherever your environment is, you need to know your humidity, you need to know your room temperature, and you need to know if your adhesive works well for those temperatures. If our humidity is too low or too high for the glue that we're using, we're going to see problems. Glue dries from the inside out. So people don't realize that once you apply an extension, if your humidity is too high, it's already drying from the inside out. So by the time we apply it to that extension, it's drying, right? So it'll still adhere as much as it can, but it's drying from the inside out so that it's not going to have full retention. You're not going to have the best retention results with your glue. That's why we say switch out your glue every 25, 30, 40 minutes, depending on how you're using it, what glue you're using, things like that. So I always recommend getting one of those little temperature gauges. It's going to tell you your humidity in your room. It's going to tell you your room temperature. That way you have an idea of what you're working with, and so that you can buy product to work for that specific temperature or environment. So number one, your glue. We want to make sure we have the right glue. The speed of that glue. Is your glue too fast? Is your glue too slow? How do you work? All these things matter. Second, retention. Obviously, we need to make sure that if we're using a product like GlueMate, which speeds up curing time, it basically it helps with humidity in the fact that it speeds up your glue. So if your glue is drying too slow, or you don't have enough humidity or too much humidity, that's when you would use this product like GlueMate. The problem is people are using GlueMate when their humidity is perfect for their glue and their temperature in their room. And so GlueMate is causing their glue to dry instantly, which we don't want. So we only use these products to help us when we can't control or if we don't know, things like that. So those products should only be used if and as needed. What's next? So like I said, humidity is huge. Our glue dries by the moisture in the air, right? So understanding that is going to be key. Second thing, we definitely want to make sure that we're applying quick enough for the glue that we're using. And if that isn't working, then we use our products like GlueMate, okay? Third thing, we want to make sure that we're not doing too big or too long of an extension on natural lashes. What happens is when we see lash artists applying too long of an extension or too big of a fan onto a natural lash that is weak or short, basically they can't handle that weight, it's going to shed it. Okay, these lashes are too heavy, so our natural lashes are going to let it go. So we shed that. And so what a lot of people think or they don't know, and I see a lot of this, is people come to me about retention. I have retention problems. Okay, well, how long is the client's natural lash? It's a 10. Well, what are you putting on them? 16s. Okay, this is way too long of an extension to put on someone with 10s. And it doesn't even have to be that scenario. It can be any of them actually. But remember, we only want to go 3 millimeters longer than the client's natural lash at all times. That is like the rule of thumb, okay? 3 millimeters longer. If you are going longer than that, you guys need to reconsider, okay? Think about the health of that client's natural lash, how big of a fan you're making, how thick of a fan you're making, and adjust so that you don't have these issues with retention. Okay, that's another big thing that people kind of oversee is how thick, how long of an extension we're putting on these lashes that may be really weak or really short. That basically just can't handle the weight, so our lashes are going to shed it off. Obviously, we need to make sure that our clients' lashes are clean, that when they're coming in, there's no makeup on those lashes. Remember that when we apply an extension onto a lash that has debris, that has old makeup on there, oils, things like that, that the extension is bonding to the dirt, to the makeup, and it's not actually bonding to the natural lash, okay? So that's why when we brush or when your client goes home, the extension's coming off the natural lash because it was never actually bonded onto it. It was bonded onto all the makeup and everything else that was on that lash. So make sure that your clients are washing their lashes every day. Make sure that you are providing them with a lash cleaner. We offer Prolong. It's such a good cleaner. It's concentrated, it's pH balanced, and it's specifically designed for eyelash extensions. So clean extensions, priming your clients if you have to, cleaning them before service. Obviously, we don't want to waste a lot of time on cleaning our clients' natural lashes during the application process. I always say charge an extra fee if you have to. Add $5 to the appointment if you are cleaning their lashes because they haven't cleaned them. Oil-based products, all those things obviously too are going to cause retention problems. People that sleep on their stomachs, that side to side at night. Typically, if someone is a left side sleeper or a right side sleeper, you're going to see lash loss more on those sides. If someone sleeps on their stomach, they usually toss and turn onto both sides of their face throughout the night, and then you're going to see lash loss there too. Retention's really hard to kind of pinpoint, and that's why I say the process of elimination. So we need to figure out, okay, our glue is good, our temperature is good. I'm not doing too long, too thick, or too big of an extension on the natural lash. Covering all your bases, so then you can say, okay, I know that I did all of my steps correctly. So what is my client doing? Now let's refer to the client. Let's ask questions. Okay, are they sleeping on their face? Do they touch their extensions a lot? Do they brush their extensions a lot? Are they using oil-based products? What are they washing their face with? What is their makeup? I had a client who didn't wear any oil-based products, but she wore eyeliner, right? And she wore eyeliner all the time. And we were starting to see retention problems. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? What are you using? She's like, I don't sleep on my face. I don't touch them. I clean them. Then the one thing I said, okay, check your eyeliner and see if it's water-based or if it's oil-based. And it was an oil-based eyeliner. So the oil in the eyeliner sits on their lash line, goes straight into their extension. And what's it going to do? It's going to break that bond down, okay? So we got to really talk to our clients and figure out what is it that's causing these problems, right? And then you guys also got to think about the shedding seasons. We got spring shedding, fall shedding. We're going into a shedding season currently right now. So if right now you're experiencing lash loss, retention problems, just remember it is shedding season. So you're going to see a lot of that for a few weeks. Explain that to your clients and let them know so that they're prepared for these couple seasons that we get out of the year where we shed some hair and we grow it in for the new seasons, kind of like snakes, they shed their skin, they get a new one. We do the same thing with our hair. And a lot of the times we don't realize it, obviously, if we don't wear extensions. But once you start getting extensions, you're wearing them all the time and you're noticing that they're falling out. And so I think where we get the bad rep, where we get the bad rep about lashing and extensions making your lashes fall out, when it's done correctly, it's not going to make your lashes fall out, okay? We're going to see, obviously, we shed 3 to 4 lashes a day, and that's normal. But when we're seeing a lot of lash loss quickly, we need to sit down and figure out, and quickly, I mean in the first 2 to 4 days of the first initial appointment or the fill. After it's been about a week or so and you're seeing retention, okay, that's probably a little normal. If it's a lot of your clients, then you got to check some things out, okay? If it's just one or two, it's probably something that they're doing. But if it's your entire week's worth of clients, then you got to start doing the process of elimination and figuring out, when was your glue open last, or open first? Not last, first. Typically glues are good for a month to 3 months, depending on the brand. So I always write the date on my bottle of when I opened it so that I know, okay, it's been, a month, or it's been 3 months. And you want to switch out your glue once it hits that point. So making sure your products are fresh, getting a new glue dot. This is something I teach in my classes. The reason why you want to switch your glue out every 30 to 40 minutes, depending on your glue that you're using, remember that it's exposed to the oxygen in the air, right? So once that glue has been sitting out, it becomes tacky. It turns this grayish color, watery-ish color. And so when it gets to that point, you want to replace it. When you first do your set, you have a fresh dot of glue, which I always recommend letting sit for about 5 minutes before you start doing your application process, because you want it to change to the temperature of the room. It's used to being in that bottle in your storage container. So letting it air out and breathe and adjust to the air in the room, it's going to have it work in the best temperatures. It's going to work at its best in those temperatures. So letting your glue be exposed before about 5 minutes before service. And what I do is I get my glue, shake it. Obviously, you want to shake it for about a minute. Shake it, let it sit out, then prep your client. By the time your client is prepped, then your glue should be really good to go. And then once I'm about at the 25 mark or 30-minute mark, I dispose a new drop of glue and I let that sit for about 5 minutes, and then I switch to the new dot. If you don't switch your glue and you continue to use that glue throughout the service or for a longer period of time, in that section of the eye where you have used that glue that's been exposed for too long, you're not going to have as strong of a bond as you would with a new drop of glue. So getting a fresh dot of glue is going to really help overall with your set, with your speed, and also with your retention. It's so cold in this house right now. So retention is something that we're always, as lash artists, trying to figure out, trying to make sure we have really good retention. Obviously, your glue products are going to play a huge role. Your lash products are going to play a huge role. You want to be buying really good quality products. I don't recommend purchasing, just some random lash glue or lash tray off Amazon. You really want to invest in something that has good reviews, or that you've used that is really working for you and for your environment, your surrounding areas where you live. Somewhere, if you live somewhere where there's a lot of humidity in the air already, then you want to buy a glue that works best for that environment. And so understanding your lash products, understanding what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And that's why I say try a lot of brands. That's what I did when I first started lashing. I tried a lot of different brands, obviously brands that were known or that had good reviews, and understanding, what you're using and how to use it properly. I think there's a lot of lash artists out there that don't necessarily understand their products and they're using them because they just have heard good things about them. But actually doing your research on them, talking to the brands, figuring out how to properly use those products, and not just using them because everybody else uses them. Really understand them. So, there's sealants out there now. There's so many different things, nano misters, sealants. We carry Seal the Deal, which is a aftercare product that you put on the base of the extension following the application process, the last step of service, and it basically bonds in your glue, makes it stronger. It just makes everything super solid. Now, those extra things actually do make a huge difference in your sets as well. So just make sure you guys are educated on what's going on, what can cause retention problems, and trying to figure that out yourself before reaching out, to other brands and, saying it's the product that you're using. It might just be that, little things are off. And if you adjust those little things, then your retention can be great. Before blaming our clients, though, let's as lash artists figure out what we're doing and make sure we're covering our bases before turning to our clients, and trying to kind of blame them for it. I definitely recommend talking to your clients, though, and understanding what they're doing, their lifestyle. Your consultation is a huge step of service, really understanding what they do, what's their daily activities, and finding out if they're a candidate for lashing, because not everyone is a true candidate for lashes. There are some people out there that just aren't going to fit it. And so you really definitely want to talk to everybody that you have as a clientele just to make sure. There's certain medications that make your hair fall out. If your client it does yoga a lot or works out a lot or likes to go in hot tubs or takes really, really hot showers, things that are going to affect the lashes, then you kind of want to reconsider or think about taking that client on. Just food for thought. All right, Lash fam, I hope you guys learned something good, new, and something that will help you in your lash business on today's podcast. I love you guys. Make sure you guys drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think down there. Drop any comments or ideas that you guys may have on future podcasts you would like to hear or listen to from me. I love you guys so much, and we will see you soon.